Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now, today's episode, as the Internet's self-proclaimed U.S. Bank #1 Smartly fan, I thought it fitting to come together one last time and say goodbye to the OG version of Smartly, a card that you know I loved and cherished very much, but has been clawed away from us. So we will do that today. I'll tell you how much I earned as well. So, of course, that sounds interesting to you. Then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, I will do a quick 90-second synopsis of U.S. Bank Smartly programming, just in case you're new here. Then I will show you how much I earned. I also found some very fun Reddit threads of folks talking about how much they earned as well. We'll talk about those as well. And of course, we'll talk about how this changes my setup and what's next, for the credit card space at large. So that'll be the format. Chapters, tools down below if you don't need the refresh. But if you are new here, you just missed it out, maybe you're hardcore travel, what have you. Smartly program, I think it was like late last October, maybe September, October. I think it officially got underway. But it's U.S. Bank's attempt to be a relationship bank, kind of like Bank of America, which basically says, give me more of your money and I'll give you better rewards. So they launched Smartly, which is a base 2% card. It was black and it was metal, again, after my own heart. And if you gave them more money, then you got better rewards. So at the top tier, which we're going to focus on, was you gave them $100,000, the card became a 4% card. And it was 4% on everything. Unlimited. And the best part of it is it meant you could just put it into a brokerage account, which is what everyone did. Myself, I split from America, so I still had platinum honors with Bank of America, but I just transferred enough assets and it held a little bit extra money until it got to 100 in the brokerage account. All you had to do was have a savings account as well. Combining the products, checking, savings, brokerage, Smartly made basically all of them free as well. And so it was great, a golden era. We finally got what we wanted to, because again, a 4% card can tank processing fees. So even as you'll see when I talk about some of the stuff I bought, even in the 3.5% processing fee, you can still make 0.5%. This is a game of inches, as they say, to borrow a cliche. Then, everything was going great. Then U.S. Bank sends out a letter and it says, hey, look, we are basically killing the program. I'll put it on screen for you, but the thing to know is there are two versions of this letter. So the changes that affected everyone is now going forward to a $10,000 statement cycle cap and spend. Anything after that would just earn the base 2%. Things like educations, like tuition, tax payments, insurance, that would no longer earn additional points. It would just earn the base 2%. That was for everybody. Then the gist of the second the letters, the differences was one said you can no longer keep your investments no longer count. The money has to be in a checking account. The other letter allowed you to carry on in your investment accounts as well. And so I got the letter that you're seeing now, which is considered the bad letter. And as you can imagine, this does not make any sense with your money to be in a checking account. Now, I couldn't really figure out any rhyme or reason as to why. There's a lot of different data points on there. People who went super hard, people who didn't go hard at all. We don't really know. So anyhow, that is the recap. So September 15th was the date the program ended. And when I say ended, you got to understand it's still out there. Smartly, the card, it still exists, but for our purposes, it's dead, right? So now that we're current, we can pick back up. So let's see, how much did I earn? I wrote it down. I want to give you an exact amount because I just cashed these out yesterday. So I'll put it on screen for you, but we are looking at, in my time with Smartly, I pulled down 311,128 points, which is about $3,111.28 total, which I didn't think was that bad by any means. So again, you've got that on screen for you. But I did continue to use my other credit cards with Smartly as well. So my other 5% cards, Amazon, Bank of America, custom cashes, you name it. So I didn't necessarily dump all of my spend on it, but again, most of the catch-alls, it's everything else. So some notable transactions, if you will. I think in the beginning of the year, there was like a super huge, it was like 12 grand, like plumbing stuff. Some of it was fixes, some of it was upgrades. I won't bore you with the details. I needed some pipes moved. It would end up saving me money long term. So that was on there. And towards the end of it, I didn't prepay a ton of stuff to lock it in before the end. I did prepay homeowners insurance for one house probably 6 weeks early, but that was like $3,300. The other one was $1,300, but again, that was due. Car insurance, I did prepay a little bit early, nothing too crazy. for the year full coverage. I think you're looking, they might have been 6 months, like $1,000 or something. It's really overpriced, but I got to shop that. But anyhow, other notable purchases, I did, if you watch all the shows, I did actually put the Rolex GMT, the Bruce Wayne, the black and gray. That was from a gray dealer, 17,000. Now, before you lose, you're gonna lose your mind either way. I did sell the Sky Dweller as well for 14,000. So net difference, 3 to change out, but still a lot of money. But I did put that on there. The reason I picked that gray dealer I haven't used before is because they took credit card payments. Again, 3.5% processing fee. So not all of my points are just straight earnings, but again, it's not that serious. I did switch out the Sea Dweller for the Submariner as well, so I did buy both of those. It was probably the biggest expenses, but in taxes, insurance, things like that. So I didn't go crazy. I know there was discussion about, are you going to lock in, by prepaying next year's property taxes, because here we do summer and winter. No, I didn't do any of that as well. So overall, I think it's pretty good for me, because in a year where I really haven't been approved for any credit cards, I've only gotten 2. One was a Key Bank card for an intro offer for a business checking deal. I just got a Bank of America card to replace this one, the unlimited cash. Getting $3,100 really helped get me through not having any intro offer. So that is how I did. I would love to know how you did down below. If you thought I should have done better, should have done worse. Overall, not too mad at my totals. Now, again, just for the fun of it, I found these Reddit threads. So I'm going to, if you give me a second here, I'm going to do a screen record because it just makes things easier when I sync it up. But I will put it on the screen for you. And so we're going to look at 2 of them. We're just going to skim through it. So thank you to the folks who sent me these for our entertainment. But again, you can see this gentleman here declares himself the winner of Smartly Game. It was fun while it lasted. $53,300 cash back, which is insane. He put a picture on here. Let's see what the picture is. Just continue in Safari. Yeah, so he put a picture, receipts, there, you can see it. Year to date, you can see, yep, there you go. So how do I go back? There we go. So yeah, this is primary. So this was primarily taxes, a little bit of household spend, but not much given the low credit limit, and painfully slow time for U.S. Bank to actually post transactions. They do take a while. He had $50,000 credit line. I think I got mine up to $22,000 with them, but didn't get started until April. So he was actually pretty late, because it was like, again, I think October, November was when the card started rolling off the line. None of this spend was manufactured, as he says, although I did reduce my W-2 withholding to 0 so I could reroute taxes to the card. I've also reduced mine to long ago, for that very reason as well. So there you go. He might be the winner. I haven't seen anybody else pay more than that. If I skim through this, some people are doing the calculations in here of what he got. So a lot of them are just asking. There is another thread. Again, this is my saved Reddit post. A lot of times if I'm scrolling Reddit, I find something to talk about, I'll save it. So this one's a little bit older one, but this guy has proposed a Smartly competition to see who could earn the most. So who's in? So of course they're asking about the bad letter. Again, I'm just gonna try to find some here. I might do some weird cuts if this takes me a long time. Here we go. This guy says, through my mid-July statement, I put over $450,000 on this card, $50K credit limit. We'll see how much damage I can do over the next 6 weeks. So that's quite a bit. Here's another guy, TV Grim Reaper here. A happy cake day to you, sir. 54 days ago, but still, a thought that counts. I put $300 on my card since January, mostly taxes, but $45K of that was college tuition. Makes a lot of sense. Another $38K in estimated taxes before the 15th. There you go. He have avoided credit cycling for the most part. The guy says $50K. So, I think you can get the point. Like, I thought this was fun to scroll through and see how people did. I put roughly $250K on this card this year so far, which $200K were income tax, $15K property tax, and $20K or so big construction bill. I can relate to that. I would like to put another $50K on taxes before 9/15. $20K credit limit, cycling every month. Another guy said $50K, $80K. Oh, this guy, he's just talking about his letter. Cycled $25K a month, $10K a month. I know MLJ, shout out to him. So there you go. That's the end of the thread. So overall, I thought, that was fun to just take a look at and see. So, other thoughts here, 2 other things. I think we can see very clearly where it went wrong. And, there's not really a reason to manufacture spend on this card back then. Granted, I know there were some who said, hey, you can load it into Venmo and just send money from that, and even with the processing fees. But I really don't think there's that much manufactured spending going on. The card issuers sometimes deem tax payments as a form of manufactured spending. I would disagree because it's a bill that you owe. Property taxes, especially, because property taxes are technically for services that your county provides. The same as going to, I don't know, a car wash or paying for a service. And that's not how I see it, but that's how property taxes are billed, as they keep the roads clean and fixed, and schools and that whole thing. So definitely not manufactured spending, I would say, but I mean, you can just see how hard people hit these, and clearly they were trying, but again, I don't think it was, you could argue abuse. I don't think this is abuse because that's how the program was built. And the biggest question I always had is what did U.S. Bank think was going to happen? Because if we go through it, there's not really a product you can sell to make up for this guy making $53,000 in half a year and doing that continuously year over year. Even if I got you to write a mortgage with me, I'm not making $53,000. I don't think selling mortgages, it's just not, and I'm selling on the secondary market, it's just not going to happen. With selling an individual loan, I could refinance you, I could HELOC you. I don't know what they thought they were going to get from this. That's my biggest question. When these rooms are very expensive, tons of smart people sitting down, what did they think they were going to do? My overall prediction in the beginning had been it would last 2 years. The first year they would just take it on the chin, and the second year they would try to establish their program similar to Bank of America, or Bank of America has most of their products rolled into preferred rewards, so you get better pricing. Now, is it competitive across the board? I've always used their mortgage as an example. Like when I was at Quicken Loans, if you wanted $600 back at closing, you could have that any day of the week. That was our standard offer. I think they offer $600, as platinum honors you get up. But still, their core person is not really going to shop around type deal. So I don't know if they wanted, and it was, you can see the mistakes. And it's funny because I think we had covered the Coinbase credit card a while back in one of the Sunday shows, and it's a similar business model, but they have assets under management requirement of $200K, and the $10K is capped to get to 4%. So you could just see, over here, it was doomed from the beginning. No one thought it was going to last forever. I just don't think it was going to last less than a year, because I don't think the bank gets anything from self-managed accounts, which most people do self-managed, and if you're going to do managed, then you probably go to somewhere smaller where the fees are more manageable, I would imagine. So overall, there you have it. That's the damage. Last thing I want to do is I'm not mad about it. I'm be happy it happened, not sad it's over. I do feel like the Morpheus line from Matrix when he's like, I dreamed a dream, but now that dream is over for obvious reasons that we covered. For this card can tank anything, and it was great. Because, if you don't know what something's going to code as, use Smartly. If you're out and about, I went to Walmart, but I didn't have my AAA Daily Advantage, which gets 5% in Walmart. Use Smartly. It's fine. So I'm going to miss that for sure. It's going to make me have to get back into shape. I did get a little bit lax on, what you were using when you could fall back on 4%. There's some times where, I could, on occasion, if I was in Best Buy, sometimes I would go on my phone, do in-store pickup to hit my Bank of America customized cash for 5.25 back, all because it's online then, and just go to the front and get it in 10 minutes when they bring it out. With Smartly, I'm like, I'll just take it off the shelf and go, right? So I'm going to have to get a little bit back in shape to that, but hey, it's fine. Nothing we can't knock the rust off. Last thing is, I think this sucks for the industry going forward, because now we've kind of proven that no one needs to try this again because it doesn't work. It's too much. Even if you launched at the $10,000 cap, these guys, and myself included, we would have found a way to hit the $10,000 cap. Even if you don't include those tax payments and things like that, I just don't think there's a reason for anyone to try this. So I don't think we'll ever see this again. Now, my one hope is that Bank of America right now, at the time of taping, is running an intro offer on the unlimited cash. It moves it from a 1.5x card to a 2% card, which is not earth-shattering. However, that 2% does stack with preferred rewards for your first year, making that 100K be 3.12%. I hope what they're doing is testing out to see if they can do it, because I've argued that preferred rewards does need to be buffed a little bit. That's a conversation for another day, because you're really just left with preferred rewards at 2.62, not counting that intro offer, and the gold card, Robinhood gold card, which is hard to get off that wait list. Who knows how that works, and then it just doesn't even payout points at all on these taxes and insurance payments from what I understand. So I think, they tried it. They've proven that Chase isn't going to do it. Bank of America is clearly not going to do it. Maybe I'm right and they're trying to test out what happens if they were to pay 3% versus 2%. Maybe, but again, that's wishful thinking. Citi, no chance. U.S. Bank tried it. American Express, no chance. So after that, we're out of people who would try. We just saw the Alliant Visa card at 2.5 finally go down to 1.5, and it's going to happen in November. So I don't think we're going to see that again, which is unfortunate. But oh well. It was fun while it lasted. Thank you, Smartly, for the fun, the topics. I'm mad. I'm still. It bothers me that it's gone, but I will get over it. Again, it was fun while it lasted. $3,000, I think, was a fun ride. So share your Smartly stories down below. How much did you earn? Again, did you think I earned enough? Too much? What do you think those guys on Reddit? Did you join in? Did you sit out? All that and more down below. But anyways, guys, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. And of course, right back here every Sunday for all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com. Which is, of course, the channel's blog. Always linked down below for you, where we not only have the latest news stories, plenty of bank promotions, some from U.S. Bank as well, and credit card offers. As always, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you very soon in the next one.